So Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, the most anticipated game of 2026, is set to get some news very soon. Now everyone's been posting their own personal roster predictions, but that's not good enough for me. So I watched every Marvel Tokon roster video I could find, made a list of characters people wanted the most, then put together 4 possible rosters for the game based on what part of the Marvel fan base the developers wanted to please. A roster for comic lovers, a roster for Marvel gamers, a roster for MCU watchers, and a roster that will make the entire Marvel fan base happy. This is Marvel Tokon's top 4. Now before we get into the roster, let's discuss roster size. Now I found the average base roster size for every Arc System game, and the average was about 20 to 25. I decided 25 would be the best size considering it was a 4v4 and we need a lot of possible teams. I'm going to be using this template made by Ultimate Shadow X on Twitter, with the bottom row being DLC. Now that we've got the roster size, there's one more thing I have to do before presenting all 4 rosters. And that is just put in the 3 characters that are basically guaranteed to be in the game. Those characters are Hulk, Thor, and Wolverine. I know it's possible that they won't make it, but I'm saying that this game will not be as successful if they're not in the game. If you're gonna have the Avengers, you need Hulk and Thor, and if you're gonna have X-Men, you need Wolverine. So these 3 will be on every base roster I make today. Now, it was here where I should have been fully ready. I have the roster number, some base characters, even a list of characters that could be on these rosters. But then I realized the hardest decision of making a Marvel fighting game. Whether to include the See, here's the thing about making a fighting game. See, the roster is limited, and adding the Fantastic Four is always a sacrifice because you have to add all of them. This is why they are not often seen in fighting games. Developers just don't want to give up 4 slots in their game, so they just think it'd be easier not to put them in at all. Marvel Rivals is the best option by having them all come out in the first season, so they wouldn't have to worry about adding them in the game later, especially when they want to do 2 characters a season. So in the Marvel Tokon videos that I was watching, they just kept popping up and were pretty high up on this list of potential characters to add to the game. So I thought, okay, we have the DLC bar, we could just add them in as base in some rosters and put them as DLC in rosters where they don't make base. It would be terrible if the entire first DLC pass is just the Fantastic Four and 1 other character. Nobody, and I mean nobody, would ever like that decision. So I made a tough choice and decided that the Fantastic Four were going to be on the base roster of every version I made today. But now we're down to 10 slots to decide new characters, and I don't know about y'all, but for me, it's not enough. So we're just going to make the base roster 30 characters, and I won't be doing a DLC prediction. It might be a bit of a stretch for Arc System Works, but it's a 4v4, it needs a big roster. Sorry, that was a lot. Let's actually get into the video with the first roster. And honestly, the least likely option, the Marvel gaming roster. Now, Marvel and video games have gone hand in hand for years and has a very loyal fan base. Some people will really buy any video game that has that Marvel logo. But can you really blame them? Sure, we may have had some misses in the past, but superhero video games have always been a staple in gaming, and no one has a better catalog than Marvel. All DC has is the Batman games and Injustice. The other stuff has not exactly been up to par. So this roster takes some of the best characters in the Marvel gaming catalog and puts them inside of Marvel Tokon. I won't be revealing them character by character. I'm just going to show you the entire roster and then we'll talk about them as we go. I honestly think this is a pretty decent looking roster. We have Black Panther, since him and Captain America have a game coming up soon. Hopefully. We don't know when that game's coming out. We have Luna Snow, Jeff, and Magic representing Marvel Rivals. Luna Snow obviously being the video game Marvel character. Her origin comes from being in Marvel games. And Jeff and Magic have become more iconic since their release inside of Marvel Rivals, so I think those three were a good set to represent the game. We also have Cyclops and his son Cable representing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And we got MODOK, since he is a fan favorite Marvel character, and this is the only roster he was actually going to make it inside because, if you remember, he was actually the main villain of the Avengers game. Man, that game was ass. Another person who wasn't going to get in any other roster, he is a Fantastic Four character, but Silver Surfer was just announced to be inside of Marvel Cosmic Invasion, and we also have the main villain of Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Annihilus. Rocket and Groot coming from the Guardians of the Galaxy game, Blade coming from his game that we also don't know about, Blade, but he was also in Marvel Midnight Suns, so that's cool. We have Miles and Venom coming in from the Spider-Man PlayStation 2 game. Yeah, I know a lot of people will be upset about having two Spider-Men, but Miles has such a different moveset. Like, come on now. He's a whole different character from Peter. They just both have the title of Spider-Man. And we also have Deadpool, who does have a VR game coming out sometime next year. But we are pulling this Deadpool from the original Deadpool game. And along with him, we have the villain of that Deadpool game, Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister would be pretty cool. He could play with like clones and stuff. He'd be a nice character. Now let's move on to comics. The things that started it all, where we first felt these rich stories and amazing artwork stacked with action, heartfelt moments, and a buttload of characters. Now I am gonna put more known characters in this roster, but this is the time for more unknown comic book characters to shine. We have Nova coming in as a Guardians of the Galaxy type character. We have Daredevil along with one of his villains, Bullseye. We have Elsa Bloodstone, a cool shooting type character, and she does have relations to Doctor Doom if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, I don't read comics. We have Cyclops returning, but along with him, we also have Rogue and Gambit, giving us most of the main X-Men. And along with the X-Men, we also have one of the main X-Men villains, Apocalypse. And just because I think she's really cool and we do need another big character, I also put Armor on this list, an underrated X-Men character. Then with some Inhuman representation, we also have Black Bolt and Lockjaw. I think these characters could be something special, man. These characters could be something special. We got our nice Spider-Man villain, Dr. Octopus. I thought about switching Dr. Octopus out with Kingpin, but I think Doc Ock would honestly have the funner moveset. We have another underrated Thor villain, Enchantress. We need some more magic in this game. And to finish it off, we have our resident joke character, Howard the Duck. Please, Marvel, put Howard the Duck in more things. I don't care. I love Howard so much. I remember watching his movie when I was a kid, even though it was terrible. One of the worst movies of all time. I love it dearly. Please, please, put him in the MCU. Do something. Do something, Marvel, with Howard the Duck. I miss him so much. Please do something with Howard. Oh yeah, and we also have Gwenpool. You know what I'm saying? Fourth wall breaky, comic book character. Take the place of Deadpool, really. But you know, she's a good pick. I like Gwenpool a lot. She's a cool character. I think she definitely deserves to be in a game. I think the last major game she was in, the last game that was playable on consoles, was Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Now the movies, what most of my generation grew up on in terms of Marvel. This is what made most of these characters so iconic in the modern age. And even though the MCU is coming out of a rough patch, we've been getting some really good projects lately. Honestly, I'd say this roster is the most likely roster to happen because it's probably going to get the game a lot of sales. Honestly, a lot of characters in this roster need no introduction. We got Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Captain Marvel representing some of the leaders of the MCU. Daredevil representing the Marvel Netflix shows. Even though they are canon now, that itself, when you could watch the Marvel shows on Netflix, that was a time. That was definitely a time. Rocket and Groot obviously coming from Guardians of the Galaxy. Deadpool coming from his movies. Sentry and Shang-Chi representing some of the newer characters in the MCU. Scarlet Witch being an obvious pick because she is one of the most popular MCU characters. I wanted to add in Professor X and Magneto to represent the Fox X-Men series. And to finish it off, adding the three villains from the Avengers movies, Loki, Thanos, and Ultron. And for the last character, just to represent the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, we also have Green Goblin. He did make an appearance in No Way Home. Oh my, here it is, folks. The moment you have all been waiting for. the roster that the fans will be the most happy with. Now, this is mainly going off the videos that I watched. I tallied how many times a specific character showed up. So this roster will be the most requested characters. Now, this roster actually looks pretty good. I can't be too upset about it. Got Black Panther, Doctor Strange, always happy to see them. Psylocke, wasn't expecting her too much, but honestly, I'm not too mad about it. The Gooners are definitely going to love that one. Daredevil, really popular character. Cyclops, always good to see him. Deadpool, Blade, Scarlet Witch, not too surprised. Magic, I was not expecting her to make this roster, but I guess a lot more people actually want her in this game than I thought. I mean, who wouldn't like to fight with a big sword? Good to see my boy Gambit returning. He's going to be inside of Doomsday, so I think a lot of people are definitely hyping up the character Gambit. And we all know what that ultimate's going to be. And then our last 5 are all major Marvel villains. Magneto, Loki, Thanos, Ultron, and Venom. But yeah, honestly, this is a pretty good roster. I think we are missing some character types. Only thing that's really missing in this roster is a joke character. And there was one character that I really wanted to put on one of these rosters, but I never got the opportunity to. Because I only seen him mentioned one time. Yo, if we got James Jonah Jameson in this game, and there we have it, the top 4 possible rosters of Marvel Tokon, depending on who exactly the developers want to please the most. If you want to know every character that was on this list and who didn't make it onto these rosters, in the description down below, I will have the full list of everybody who is possible. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm really excited for this Marvel Tokon game, even though I'm probably not going to buy it. I'm not that big of a fighting game guy, and I never like spending $60 on fighting games because it just doesn't seem worth it to me. But I made this video anyway because I'm a big fan of Marvel, and I really like making roster videos, even though I don't play fighting games. But if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments who you want to be in the Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls roster. And by the way, I'm going to be wearing this shirt in my next video, which is going to be a Spider-Man 2 video. So don't think I'm like dirty or anything when you see me in this shirt. And if that video is already out, I'm going to have it right here for you guys. Go ahead and check that video out as well. With that being said, I'll catch you guys at the next video. Room Shambus. Fantastic Four. That's going at the end of the video.